We have team coverage of this morning's severe weather. The WRAL storm tracker is in Edgecombe County, checking on the damage after a radar-confirmed tornado there. And trees down, a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker in Durham, where trees have fallen onto a home. We'll have a live report just ahead.
And taking a look at Dual for 5,000 radar, a lot of the rain has begun to taper off, but I'll show you why we could see more redevelopment of storms later on today.
Edgecombe County schools are delayed 2 hours today. School leaders say they need to assess road conditions and any possible damage to schools. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 50 at 8 o'clock. A lot to tell you about. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We're going to get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Of course, it is WRAL Weather Alert Day, Elizabeth. Plenty of damage overnight from that confirmed tornado.
Yeah, and it was over here in Edgecombe County. So it's right here. Tarborough's in Edgecombe County, and Tarborough's where we saw another tornado touchdown potentially late yesterday, about 5:15. So it's been a mess there for folks in Edgecombe County. Right now, we're seeing just a little light rain in the triangle. Most of it is from Goldsboro northward, some heavier rain across parts of Halifax and Northampton counties, but we don't have any current warnings. We take a look here. This is Pine Tops, where the damage happened. And the way we were able to see that on radar is when the tornado touched down and it hit some of the buildings, it lofted the debris into the air. And then we can see where the radar picks up on that debris in the air, very similar to the way that it detects raindrops. So that happened at around 3:42, NC 42 and Drake Farm Road right there in Pine Tops. Laura Levine, of course, is there, and she's been on the scene for a while. Right now, you can see where the storm tracker is right there in Pine Tops. And Laura has been in multiple locations taking a look at damage. Boy, we just saw the video of all those trees down. Laura, what's happening where you are?
Elizabeth, right now we are on Old Wilson Road. This is right off of NC 42 where we first got that detection of debris being picked up. And right now what we're looking at is significant large trees that toppled over, really pulled from the roots here with this tornado that touched down here around 4 o'clock or just before 4 o'clock this morning. Now this tree toppled over some fencing here at this baseball field, really destroying the fence here at this baseball field. But this is what I really want to show you. If we walk this way, as you're taking a look at just how large this tree is, I mean, pulled from the roots. Panning this way, there's another large tree that toppled over some vehicles here earlier this morning as well. The person who lives here actually just opened up the door, peeked out the door and said, "Hey, I'm happy it was just the vehicles, not my home." So she said she's okay, and we are glad for that. But just to give you an idea of how significant this tornado moved through, also, we are hearing from the mayor. We're also hearing from people who live in this community who tell us that it happened pretty quickly. Some people slept through it. Others say by the time that they tried to get into their safe place, it was already over. So we're going to continue to move around as we have been all morning since 4:30 this morning, navigating this area, speaking to people to hear their firsthand accounts of what happened. But so far, just some injuries. I mean, not injuries, no injuries. It's just been some damage reports that we're looking at right now. I'll send it back to you, Elizabeth.
And Laura, that's really amazing. You look at that, how huge that tree was. If it fell on a house or a car with someone in it, wow, that's pretty dramatic there. We'll also have a continued chance for severe storms, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes and hail later this afternoon as storms pick up in intensity. Also, the potential for flooding up to 2 o'clock tomorrow morning from the Triangle area eastward and along the I-95 corridor. This is a look at our rain chances. A little bit of a break now up until around lunchtime, but then a better chance later on today with a 60% chance of some of those showers and thunderstorms. We take a quick look at Futurecast and you can see everything begins to taper off, but another round of storms later on today. Coming up, we'll talk about how much rain we've seen and how much more we could total up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to take you right to the troubled spots we're seeing, and particularly I-87 in the southbound lanes. There are a couple of crashes right now. This one near New Hope Road. There was another one near the I-540 interchange that just cleared, but you can see the huge delays it's causing on those southbound lanes. You're coming in from Knightdale this morning. You might want to get off on Smithfield Road, work your way over to Pool Road. That will be your alternate route to avoid what's happening there on I-87. This crash just cleared on I-40 eastbound. We're still seeing some lingering delays in that area as well. But if you're in a rush, just know that you'll be getting through there at some point. Bring it back to Wake County. That was in Orange County. Here's what it looks like on the southern loop of the Beltline. The westbound lane coming toward us this morning, moving slow and steady. Here's the northern loop of the Beltline. Things have really cleared up. So if you're coming in from Johnson or County or Garner, you might want to take the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side and avoid the slowdowns that we're seeing on the southern loop of the Beltline. In terms of coming into the capital city, here's what we're looking at. You're coming in from Apex this morning, you're looking at a 14-minute delay. Of Fins in Wake Forest, you're looking at an 11-minute delay. And I showed you that situation on I-87. You're looking at a 15-minute delay. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio. We'll keep you updated. 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. This morning, storms have knocked a tree onto a home in Durham. This happened on Hartford Court near Alpine Road. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Durham to give us a look at that scene. Kelsey, what do we know right now?
Michelle, a tree fell on some townhomes here on Hartford Court in Durham. So we'll try to zoom in so you can see how that tree is sitting on top of 3 different roofs there. We'll also show you some video from the WRAL breaking news tracker so you can see the full extent of all of this damage. So most of the damage is in the back of the building. We're staying up front right now just for our own safety. Neighbors say that the tree is still creaking and first responders warn them to stay away from it for now. Now, one woman here says that she does have some severe damage inside her home. Another neighbor says they are fine for now, but if the tree moves in any way, they could see some more damage. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on any cleanup efforts that are happening here. For now, Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
And Jeff Hogan at the WRAL Live Center, always good at these times to check in on the Duke Energy power outage map. And this is what we're finding, and we have seen it a lot worse a lot of different times. I'm going to focus right on the middle here because this is right in the Chapel Hill area. And as I push in a little bit closer to what's happening here, right by South Point, 251 outages there. These are due to come back in about 2.5 hours at about 10:30 this morning. The cause of those outages is not known. If we take a little closer look at what is happening nearby there, I want to widen out this map and give you a look down towards Fuquay Varina. Okay, you see that 326 there, Fuquay Varina. As I push in a little bit closer to that, it divides it up. 296 customers, 293 customers now without it. And as we take a look at the reason, okay, the cause, fallen tree or limbs damaging some Duke Energy power equipment that is out there right now. One more look. I want to head out just a little bit to our west, right between Siler City and Ashboro. There's 925 happening out there in this one area. Customers without power. The cause unknown at this time right now. They are due to get back up online at 11:15 this morning.
Jeff, thanks for that update. We've had 2 likely tornadoes in Edgecombe County in less than 12 hours. The National Weather Service is finalizing a plan to look at the possible damage from last night. Take a look at this. Eva Martin and her mother were driving when they spotted what appeared to be a tornado. No injuries were reported. We are waiting for the National Weather Service to confirm it was a tornado. Tarboro saw some damage as well. The storm ripped up trees there. One landed on a woman's home. And 2 families are out of a home in Cary after a tree fell on it during the severe weather. This happened on Templeton Street. One of the 2 families was home when this happened. They were able to escape safely. And breaking news, a woman is hurt after a reported stabbing in Raleigh. Police responded to Capitol Boulevard just before 2 o'clock this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as officers investigated. Police say a woman went to the hospital in a private vehicle. She is expected to be okay. No arrests have been made. And this morning, Justice Allison Riggs is set to be certified as the winner of the state Supreme Court race. That's after a 6-month court battle against Republican challenger Jefferson Griffin, who wanted judges to throw out tens of thousands of ballots. The battle ended last week when a federal judge ruled against Griffin. Riggs will be sworn in by the only other Democrat on the court, Justice Anita Earls. The event will be held at 10 a.m. in the Old House Chamber in the state capitol. And new search warrants reveal how investigators tracked down the suspects in the armed robbery of a Raleigh postal worker. Investigators say the robber stole $500, a cell phone, and a key used to unlock mail collection boxes back in March. Police used witness photos and license plate recognition to track a vehicle of interest to a townhouse more than 12 miles away in Cary. Raleigh and Cary officers searched trash cans outside the home and found the key along with firearms and materials that could be used to forge checks. Last week, police arrested Brian Thomas and Aaron Worthy in connection with the robbery. The person listed as living in the townhouse has not been charged. And school board members in Wake County will get a look at new safety vehicles today. The school system now has 3 mobile command vehicles. They have communications equipment and can coordinate emergency response from the field. The goal is to help streamline communication with school leaders and emergency responders.
It's most common to see mobile command centers in law enforcement agencies and emergency management agencies, not necessarily school districts.
A state grant funded the vehicles. The school board safety and security committee will get a demonstration of them today. And you can follow our coverage of the school board at the education section of WRAL.com. Tonight, Officer Gabriel Torres will be honored in Washington, D.C. during National Police Week. Torres was shot and killed in the 2022 Raleigh mass shooting. Tonight, his name will be read on the honor roll call for officers being added to the Peace Officers Memorial. His name will be officially revealed on the memorial during a ceremony on Thursday. Time now is 8:11. A family in mourning. We are learning more about a man who died in a hit-and-run crash in Wake County. How important his loved ones say motorcycling was to him as they look for closure. And theft at the drive-thru coming up in the next half hour. 5 on Your Side shows you how to protect your credit card information at the fast food window.
And a confirmed tornado caused damage in Edgecombe County early this morning, but you can see now the rain's beginning to taper off. I'll show you why. We'll have another chance for severe storms later today. It's 8:14 on this WRAL weather alert day. We did have a confirmed tornado early this morning at about 3:25 there in Edgecombe County. We have Laura Levine on the scene, and she'll be with us in a little while to show us what she's seeing there. Fortunately, no injuries, but definitely some damage. We take a look at the rest of the viewing area. Things are really starting to taper off in terms of precipitation. Notice here some heavier rain, especially in Northampton County. That's the area where we're seeing the heaviest rain in the viewing area right now. We may get a break up through lunchtime and then redevelopment of thunderstorms later on today, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and hail as we have a second round that could develop later on. We also still have a flood watch in effect from the Triangle area eastward until early tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind too, especially during the evening commute and overnight tonight. We take a look at our rain chances. It bumps down this morning to around 30% chance, but then later on this afternoon and evening back to a 60% chance as we'll have that potential for some thunderstorms. A few of those could become severe. Of course, Laura Levine is in the storm tracker right there in Pine Tops, where she's been covering the damage that happened there. Laura, tell us where you are. And you're standing in front of that huge tree. That one is amazing.
This is a ginormous tree that toppled over the baseball field here, damaging some fencing. Within the past 10 minutes, some crews have just arrived here and they're working on some power lines. You can see some of those trees knocked down over these vehicles here on Old Wilson Road, and we spoke with the person who lives here. She's okay. She said that she was up as soon as that alarm went off this morning, really just terrified. Luckily, she's doing okay. But again, these crews are now just beginning to work on the power lines here. The person who lives here, she's been out of power since earlier this morning. You can also see some of the, we saw some dish crews as well pull up here with the cable. But again, just a lot of work that's going to be done. The cleanup process is underway. We're going to be giving you live reports all morning long on what we're seeing out here. But again, everyone is okay. Just damage reports, no injury reports here in Pine Tops. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Edgecombe County.
Yeah, that's definitely the good news there. Back in the WRAL Traffic Center, we've seen some congestion building on most of our major routes, including the Beltline this morning. Let's take a live look at the southern loop of the Beltline. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us slow and steady this morning. Here are 3 things you need to know as you get ready to head out. Of course, it's going to be a rainy morning commute. And once you get out on the roadways, definitely watch your spacing, watch your speed, look for ponding on the road, even though the rain showers are clearing out just somewhat. We still get some more coming in, but the best advice we have for you this morning, get an earlier than usual start, just to be on the safe side.
All right, thank you, Ken. We are learning more about a motorcyclist from Zebulon killed in a crash near Wendell. It's information from a GoFundMe page set up for his surviving family. Troopers say Jay Guido was riding his motorcycle last week on Turnipseed Road. The driver of a Subaru honked her horn from behind, passed Guido, and abruptly slammed on the brakes before driving away. That caused the motorcycle to crash. Family members say Guido was riding with his two sons, quote, to clear his head and spend time doing what they love together. Authorities are still searching for the driver who caused that crash. And happening today, the Fayetteville Police Department is holding a wreath-laying and prayer ceremony. It's an observation of National Police Week. It'll be held in front of the Hayes Street office at 10:30 this morning. Officers will honor those who died in the line of duty. And the city of Fayetteville wants to invest more in public safety. The city manager is recommending a $312 million budget for the 2026 fiscal year. $114 million of that would go to the police and fire departments. The budget also recommends a compensation increase for employees. It also suggests allocating money for street and stormwater projects. The city council plans to meet on Thursday to review. And protesters in New Jersey blocked an entrance to an immigrations and customs enforcement facility. The protesters prayed as they stopped employees from leaving the property. They demanded the Department of Homeland Security release the names of people being held there. The protest comes on the heels of Newark's mayor being arrested during a rally outside the detention center last week. He was released after a day in custody. Wake Med wants to open a new freestanding emergency department in Wake County. The hospital filed an application to open the facility in Rollsville. If approved by the state, the project is expected to cost $53.7 million and would be completed in 2027. A public hearing on the project is scheduled for June 17th. And the Carolina Hurricanes are now one win away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. 5 different Canes scored last night at Lenovo Center on their way to a 5-2 win over the Washington Capitals in Game 4. The Canes are now up 3-1 in the series. They'll have to go to D.C. for Game 5, where a win would send them to the next round. That game will be Thursday night at 7. And after the game, don't miss our Canes exclusive postgame live, expert insight, and exclusive analysis. That's only on WRAL at 11:25 Thursday night and after every game on the Canes playoff run. All right, let's turn to weather now. That's our big story this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the damage we saw last night and the rain we're still seeing right now.
In Edgecombe County at 3:25, a tornado warning was issued, and then the radar detected debris that got lofted into the air as the tornado touched down and damaged some buildings there. So that made it a confirmed tornado. Things have definitely quieted down since then. We're not really seeing much rain in the triangle right now. Still some of that from Goldsboro up through the I-95 corridor, including Edgecombe County and especially Northampton County. Some of that rainfall is fairly heavy there right now. We'll zoom in and take a look here at Pine Top. Some of the damage was done here at Hill Street and Gay Street, which is just to the west of town right there. And of course, Laura Levine has been there tracking all of that as well. You can see how it was detected by radar. First, this is where the rotation happens. As we take a look at the velocity, it shows you the spin in the atmosphere. And then this is what we call the debris ball. And again, when that debris gets lofted into the atmosphere, the radar can detect it, much like it picks up on the raindrops out there. And of course, first spotted at NC42 at Drake Farm Road. But as Laura's been driving around, she's found damage in a number of places. Meteorologist Chris Michaels here too to talk about what some of the impacts can be when these storms happen overnight.
And it's kind of surprising to me, at least, that 30% of our tornadoes happen at night. That's thanks to a study that was recently done in 2022. We rank as the 12th highest for that number in the country. Tennessee consistently over the past 20 years at least, it's been number one. But you see those red shaded areas where more than 40% of their tornadoes happen at night. Yesterday, we had a reported one just down the road in Princeville and Tarboro. That has yet to be officially confirmed, but it looks like from the damage and some pictures that we may get that second one confirmed. Those happened within 14 miles of each other. So when these tornadoes happen at night, it's all the more reason to have multiple ways to get warnings. Our weather app, the NOAA weather radio, have the emergency alert system turned on your phone. And thankfully, Elizabeth, no reported injuries from that tornado that happened this morning in Pine Tops.
And seeing some of the damage, it's amazing. But like you said, very thankful that no one was hurt. This is, again, a look at what's happening just brand new. We have another flood advisory here, and that's going to be for a good chunk of Northampton County. And that cell has been just sitting there dumping heavy rain. This is a look at some other areas where we've seen some heavy rain, 3.5 to 4 inches in this streak from Sanford all the way up through Chapel Hill. Other areas in the purple, we've seen as much as 2 to 3 inches of rain. And then here in Edgecombe County, 3.5 to 4 inches of rain. So not only are you going to have to watch out for some of that tornado damage, but flood watch as well, especially for our eastern counties. Severe threat again today, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and the potential for some hail, especially in our eastern counties as we see another round of some scattered storms. A little bit of a break developing now. Some sunshine may peek out, and then that could help to energize the atmosphere enough for another round of storms. So 60% chance today and again tomorrow. That chance tapers off, but late Friday into Saturday, it's possible that we would have another round of storms. How much more rain? Anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to another 1.5 inches. So that's why we're concerned about the potential for some flooding. It's drying out a little bit in Apex right now. We'll see a high of 80 this afternoon and tomorrow. And we do still have some heat on the way. Expect 92 on Friday. We'll be right back.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. We even saw a tornado in Edgecombe County. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking it all for us.
Yeah, that happened really early this morning, right around Pine Tops at about 3:25. The warning lasted until 4 o'clock. There was a good bit of damage, and Laura Levine is coming up with more on that. But notice that we have a fairly light amount of rain, especially in the Triangle area right now. So a little break now, but redevelopment of storms later on today could bring more damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and hail. And from Raleigh eastward, we have a flood watch in effect until about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. As a matter of fact, we have a flood advisory up in Northampton County right now. Notice how we go back up to around 60% chance of storms this afternoon, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's go outside, give you a look at the northern loop of the Beltline. This I-440 and New Bern Avenue traffic is moving on slowly this morning. As far as major routes coming into the capital city, here's what we're looking at. It's a situation that things are actually improving. If you look at the routes coming into the capital city, you're looking at a 12-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. Boy, things have definitely improved in those I-87 southbound lanes. Over in Durham, very little to no delays heading into the Bull City this morning.
Thanks, Ken. We've had 2 likely tornadoes in Edgecombe County in less than 12 hours. The National Weather Service is finalizing a plan to look at the possible damage from last night. No injuries were reported. We are waiting for the National Weather Service to confirm it was a tornado. And today, Justice Allison Riggs set to be certified as the winner of the state Supreme Court race. The certification ceremony will happen at 10 this morning on the Capitol grounds in Raleigh. Riggs will be sworn in by the only other Democrat on the court, Justice Anita Earls. Next on Fox 50, the new initiative that could help streamline communication between Wake County school leaders and first responders. A confirmed tornado. This is a live look near Pine Tops where the National Weather Service confirmed a tornado just after 3:30 this morning. We've got the WRAL storm tracker there monitoring the damage.
And we have the potential for more scattered storms. It could be severe later on today. A flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning with as much as an inch of rain or more still ahead on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. And trees toppled, damage to townhomes in Durham. What we're hearing from neighbors this morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 50 on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We're going to get to all of what we just talked about in just a minute. But first, we have to start off with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Still getting reports in from that damage by the tornado in Edgecombe County. Yeah, Laura showed huge trees down, homes damaged as well. But fortunately, no one was hurt. We're going to hear from her in just a few minutes. From Goldsboro northward and east of I-95, we still have some rain. As a matter of fact, there's a flood advisory in effect for Northampton County right now. That cell has been sitting there for the last couple of hours, dumping a lot of heavy rain. We We've seen rain up to 3 to 4 inches in some places. But right now, we're starting to see it really quiet down from I-95 westward. They're still going to run into some wet conditions out there on the roads, but things are improving. Some rain falling in Pine Tops right now, which is where we ended up with that tornado touchdown. Debris was detected as the tornado touched down and lofted debris from a home into the air. We were able to detect that on the radar there. So we'll be going to Laura Levine in just a minute. We take a look at our Dill Doppler 5000 radar, and with that potential for a break now, we'll have the chance for some thunderstorms later on this afternoon and evening, damaging winds, isolated tornadoes and hail, and the chance for some flooding. We have that flood watch that is still in effect. Our chance of rain goes down a little bit in the next few hours, but then back up to around 60% later on today. I'm going to send it out to Laura Levine, who's there in Pine Tops, taking a look at some of that tree damage. Laura?
We're still here on Old Wilson Road, Elizabeth, where crews are currently working on restoring some of the power here. But I really want you to take a closer look at that large tree that came down early this morning. You can see that it just damaged some vehicles here parked in front of the home. I just had the opportunity to interview the woman who lives here, and we talk about situations like this. You really get to understand some of the resilience that the people have in this community. The woman tells me that she first got that alarm just before 4 o'clock this morning about that tornado in the area. Then she felt like the winds were moving in more than 100 miles per hour. And then she also said it moved pretty quickly. Within 5 minutes, this is the damage that occurred. She just lost her husband on Sunday, she tells me. And she says she really believes that he was protecting her through all of this. You can see that tree just narrowly missing her home. Then earlier this morning, we also spoke to another homeowner who had significant damage to their home. I want you to take a listen to what they experienced.
We woke up at like 4 in the morning to my neighbor's parents banging on the windows, then yelling, "Savannah, Dustin, are you okay in there?" And my dog barking. And so I was like, "We're fine. Why?" And they're like, "The front of your house is gone."
So that was Savannah Brooks over on Gay Street, right off of School Street, where we saw that significant damage earlier this morning. Again, everyone okay in all of these scenarios. Now the cleanup process is underway. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Edgecombe County.
Yeah, our heart really goes out to the lady who just lost her husband. Unfortunately, only damages to report. In the WRAL Traffic Center, let's get you right to the troubled spots this morning, mainly I-87 in the southbound lane. This crash likely is in the clearing phase because things are definitely improving on those southbound lanes coming into the capital city. The other crash is right here in Roseville. It's in the eastbound lane near Forestville Road, but we're seeing the usual congestion building on the westbound lanes there coming into the capital city. But that's a combination of street traffic lights and the usual morning commute. Boy, things have gotten a lot better on the southern loop of the Beltline as we look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Similarly, on the northern loop of the Beltline, congestion has definitely eased at 440 and New Bern Avenue. So that's really good news to report. In terms of other major routes coming into the capital city, as I said, things are definitely beginning to improve, and that's really good news. You're just looking at an 11-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest this morning. All other routes are really delay-free at this hour.
All right, thank you, Ken. And this morning, storms have knocked a tree onto a home in Durham as well. This happened on Hartford Court near Alpine Road. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Durham. Kelsey, what do we know?
Michelle, for right now, everyone is okay. We'll give you a live look now at some of this damage here. You may not be able to see that much from this direction because this area is so woody, but there's a tree that's on top of 3 townhomes here on Hartford Court in Durham. Let's give you a look now at some video so you can see the extent of this damage. Crews left here within the last hour, according to some neighbors we spoke to off camera. The worst of the damage is in the back of the building, so we're staying out front right now for our own safety. Neighbors say that tree is still creaking and first responders warned them to stay away from it. One woman says she has severe damage inside her home. Another neighbor says that for now they're fine, but if the tree moves, they could get some more damage. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on any cleanup efforts. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
We've had 3 tornado warnings in Edgecombe County in less than 12 hours. The National Weather Service finalizing a plan to look at the possible damage from last night. Take a look at this. Eva Martin and her mother driving when they spotted what appeared to be a tornado. No injuries were reported. We are waiting for the National Weather Service to confirm it was a tornado. Tarboro saw some damage as well. The storm ripped up trees, one even landing on a woman's home. And this morning, Justice Allison Riggs is set to be certified as the winner of the state Supreme Court race. That's after a 6-month court battle against Republican challenger Jefferson Griffin, who wanted judges to throw out tens of thousands of ballots. The battle ended last week when a federal judge ruled against Griffin. Riggs will be sworn in by the only other Democrat on the court, Justice Anita Earls. The event will be held at 10 o'clock this morning in the Old House Chamber in the state capitol. Over $10 million of increased funding could be coming to Durham Public Schools. Today, the Board of Commissioners and Board of Education will meet to talk about the recommended budget for 2025-26. The county manager presented it last night. It proposes over $10 million more in funding for public schools. That brings the total annual funding to almost $223 million. That meeting is happening this morning at 9. A final vote on the county budget, that's happening on June 9th. And Wake County school board members will get a look at new safety vehicles today. The school system there now has 3 mobile command vehicles. They have communications equipment and can coordinate emergency response from the field. The goal is to help streamline communication with school leaders and emergency responders.
The ideal scenario is for school leaders and school safety officials to be in the same space with your law enforcement tactical teams and other decision makers from different agencies.
And a state grant funded the vehicles. The school board safety and security committee will get a demonstration of them today. And you can follow our coverage of the school board at the education section of WRAL.com.
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. Right now, President Donald Trump is in Saudi Arabia as of just a few hours ago. Stepped off Air Force One and met with the Crown Prince right there on the tarmac there. Part of his traveling party includes Elon Musk on this 4-day trip now, the first overseas tour of his second term. They got some Arabic coffee there served to them as well. Now, I want to show you a live look at what's happening right now in that area. Well, they just took that live look away. So I'm going to go back to some of these photos and pictures of what is happening there. Saudi Crown Prince there talking business, $600 billion in a Saudi investment commitment. So along the trip, Donald Trump will be in Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and he also, after meeting with U.S. service members there at an air base, he says he is open to making a detour and head over to Turkey to talk potential peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. That would be on Thursday.
All right, thank you, Jeff. The Carolina Hurricanes are now 1 win away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. 5 different Canes scored last night at Lenovo Center on their way to a 5-2 win over the Washington Capitals in Game 4. The Canes are now up 3-1 in the series. They'll have to go to D.C. for Game 5, where a win would send them to the next round. That game will be Thursday night at 7. And after the game, don't miss our Canes exclusive post-game live, expert insight and exclusive analysis. That's only on WRAL at 11:25 Thursday night and after every game during the Canes playoff run. Today, city leaders in Raleigh will review a study of downtown. Last January, the city contracted a company to look at the ways to improve the Fayetteville Street and Glenwood South neighborhoods. City leaders will get an update on a traffic safety study conducted in the Glenwood South area. Those findings will be presented at a work session this afternoon at 4. Time now is 8:40. Absolutely safe. United Airlines ensuring customers it is safe to fly. The message to passengers as concerns over air traffic control outages grow. And this is a live look at Goldsboro this morning. A couple of raindrops on the camera there. It's another weather alert day with a chance for flooding in some areas. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will time out when we'll see the heaviest rain today.
8:43, getting another look at dual Doppler 5000 radar on this WRAL weather alert day. Still a little bit of rain, especially over parts of Wilson County, Edgecombe, and especially Northampton County, where we do have a flood advisory that's in effect all the way until about 11:15. Of course, it was right here in Pine Tops that we had a confirmed tornado early this morning at around 3:30 to around 3:45. It did a good bit of damage, and we're going to check in with Laura Levine in just a few minutes. But we take a look at our severe threat for today: damaging wind, isolated tornadoes, a break in precipitation now. But we may see some sunshine later this afternoon, which could re-energize the atmosphere and bring us some more storms. This is a look at the aerial flood advisory there, especially for the town of Jackson, till about 11:15. That's right there in Northampton County. We still have a flood watch in effect from the Triangle area eastward until very early tomorrow morning. 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms later on today. That's when we could have the potential for more severe storms. But I want to send it over to Pine Tops. Right there, you can see the storm tracker. Laura Levine is there taking a look at a lot of tree damage and damage to homes. So what are you seeing there? I see you have your umbrella.
I do, because we're getting another downpour here in Pine Tops, Elizabeth. But we're now getting a different vantage point of the tree that fell on some vehicles here on Old Wilson Road. And honestly, this tree is larger than the one we were showing you earlier by that baseball field. You can see crews are here kind of assessing the damage here. But this is one angle of it. But if you walk this way, look at the roots here that was pulled up from the ground. I mean, huge, a fairly large tree. And I just want to put into perspective, look at the hole. Look at the hole here. Yes, I want to put into perspective that the homeowner here, she tells me that all of this happened in the span of what she believed was 5 minutes. And you can just see how close this is to her home. You know, very thankful that she's okay. She felt like she was protected. She said she was relying on her faith in that moment when she heard the winds really pick up earlier this morning. As we reported about 30 minutes ago, the homeowner here, she lost her husband on Sunday, and she feels like he was protecting her during this time. So just, I mean, a lot of people experiencing just really a hard time waking up, seeing a lot of this damage this morning. But overall, everyone is thankful to be okay. All of this can be replaced, but their lives cannot. So we're going to continue to report on the damage that we're seeing. We're going to head back over to School Street and the next 20 minutes and give you an update on what we're seeing there as the cleanup process continues. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Edgecombe County.
Faith and a guardian angel. Listen, let's take a spin around the Beltline, shall we? Starting on the southern loop of the Beltline. Boy, congestion has really eased as we looked at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The northern loop of the Beltline, things congestion beginning to pick up just a bit, but at least traffic is still moving in the right direction in terms of moving slowly without major delays. Nothing that's going to make you late. We just have a handful of crashes on our live traffic sensors this morning, but none that's affecting your morning commute. As always, when we're on the air and you're getting ready to get to your car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. United Airlines ensuring its customers that it is safe to fly as concerns are growing over air traffic control outages and delays at Newark Airport.
It is absolutely safe to fly. Our pilots are highly trained professionals. There are incredibly skilled teams at both United and the FAA looking after you and your flight.
That's part of a video the airline sent to its frequent flyers. The message also praised the Department of Transportation's plans to update air traffic control systems across the country and to increase controller staffing. And today, a court hearing that could grant the Menendez brothers a path to freedom gets started in Los Angeles. A 2-day resentencing hearing for the brothers is expected to begin today. It was pushed back from last month when the newly elected county prosecutor asked for more time to review the case. Eric and Lyle Menendez are currently serving life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murders of their parents. If the judge grants them a revised sentence, a parole board will review their case and could recommend them for release. And the Lenovo Center prides itself on being
It does, yeah. Prides itself on being the loudest house in the NHL. That's right, Michelle. We aren't doubting that one bit either. So we wanted to put it to the test. And well, Saturday I got my eardrums blasted, still recovering from that during the Canes Game 3 victory over Washington.
From tailgating to walking the halls of the Lenovo Center pregame, the energy from Caniacs is infectious. Playoff hockey is different, and they know it as the loudest arena in the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go Canes! Woo!
Even babies are wearing headphones to keep their little ears safe from the noise levels. I took my handy-dandy noise meter to see just how deafening this fan base can be. Before the puck even dropped, there were some loud moments. From the siren at 106.6 decibels to the national anthem at 107.7 decibels, the opening face-off eclipsing 110 decibels. According to the American Academy of Audiology, that's equivalent to a rock concert or a car horn. If you were watching the game from home, you know the first period didn't offer much to get loud about. That changed when Svechnikov netted the first goal. 113.2 decibels. Now we're talking. The second period was all about testing the limits of our eardrums, from yelling "cheaters never win" to Roslovic's goal to put the Canes up 2-0. That registered at 111.5 decibels. Oh, and then you had to boo public enemy number one Tom Wilson, which got to about 105 decibels.
How does this compare to other arenas? Well, one blog called Bosshorn claims that Montreal's Bell Center has gotten above 120 decibels, while Vegas hit 115 decibels. Now, one of those teams is cheering from the sideline, while the other is playing Edmonton.
From the loudest house in the NHL, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels, WRAL News.
The State Department of Transportation says all North Carolina by-train service will stop in Salisbury for the Cheerwine Festival. Passengers can depart from Durham, Cary, Raleigh, and all other stations in the state. The Cheerwine Festival offers food, entertainment, and all the cheerwine you can imagine. It goes from 10 to 7 on Saturday. All right, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking our weather alert day today. We saw so much damage from that tornado in Edgecombe County, Elizabeth.
We really did. Lots of trees down, power lines down, damage to homes. It was incredible that no one was injured. We haven't had any reports that anyone was hurt, and so that's a great thing. We still have the potential for some flooding. We could see an inch or more of rain. We still have the chance for more thunderstorms on and off as we get through this afternoon, some of which could produce severe storms again. We take another live look at Dual Doppler 5000 radar. Good bit of rain falling here in Edgecombe County. I'm going to show you how much they've seen so far. Edgecombe County is where that tornado was overnight last night around 3:30 in the morning. We also have some heavy rain up there in Northampton County, but it's really tapered off for much of the remainder of the viewing area. Right here in Pine Tops is where we ended up with that tornado. And of course, Laura Levine is there. She's been reporting on her conversations with the mayor and with neighbors and just seeing all the trees down and all the damage. Fortunately, it was there were no injuries so far. The debris was detected, first of all, at NC 42 and Drake Farm Road at about 3:42 on Tuesday. And this is how we can confirm a tornado. If a tornado touches down and lofts debris from a house or a tree up into the atmosphere, the radar can detect that just like it detects raindrops. And so when we see that, we know that our tornado has touched down. Right now in the Triangle, everything's pretty quiet. A couple of sprinkles out there, some cloud cover. We have this aerial flood advisory that expires at 11:15. They're right around Jackson, sort of the center part of Northampton County, so be careful there. But some of the rainfall totals have been really impressive. Look at this, 3.5 to 4 inches from Chapel Hill down here all the way through Lee County. We've had about 2.5 inches in parts of Wake County. We head up here to where the advisory is, about 3.2 inches. These are all radar estimates. But look here at Edgecombe County, an estimate of 4.7 inches of rain. That's some of the heaviest rain that we've seen so far in the last 24 hours across the viewing area. That stretches on down toward the coast. So we do have a level 1 risk for severe storms, damaging wind, isolated tornadoes a little bit later on today. And of course, we still have the flood watch as well. Before we go much further with that, I want to send it over to Chris, who's going to talk more about how we detect these tornadoes.
And exactly, you mentioned that debris ball that we had seen on the right-hand side. And at the time that we were covering it this morning, we noticed, along with the National Weather Service, that it was co-located in the same spot as where we had some rotation. So that's how they were able to say it was a radar-confirmed tornado. And then, of course, we started getting your pictures in. This was the first look we got this morning from Brandon Davis in Pine Tops, and then Alexis Davis showing us the damage that was done to the top of that house. And, of course, this was a nighttime tornado. That's the topic of conversation in this week's Ask the Meteorologist. That's live right now on WRAL.com.
Chris, thanks for putting that together, because those can be so dangerous. People are asleep and they don't get the warnings. Again, we do have a chance for more storms today and tomorrow, and then a little bit of a break. Friday, though, not much of a break. It'll be hot, 92. We'll be right back.